Hello, dear ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our breakout session today about infrastructure. Today, we already heard a lot about the three lignite region and also about the opportunities in the hydrogen sector. My name is Heiko Staubitz. I work with Germany Trade Invest more than 14 years already. And we, as Germany Trade Invest, support international companies expanding on the German market together with our partners in the federal states. So we work very close with all 16 federal states, and we have a lot of projects in the region. For example, we supported Asai Kasei or Enapter together with our partners in NRW. And yeah, so that's what we do. And today I'm very happy to have two experts from the Tour region with me. On one hand, from the central co-region, it's Mr. Martin Naundorf from Infraleuna. And from the Rhenish co-region, it's Miss Elke Hohmann. And so I'm very happy to have you with me here today. And please, if you have any question, you heard a lot today about the infrastructure, about opportunities in this region. So please send us the email, send us questions so that we can address it to our speakers. So to start with, so my first question is to Ms. Hohmann, we already heard a lot about what's going on in your region, but from my perspective, it would be great to hear what your main, what is your most ambitious project in your region. So that would be great if you could give me some information on that.
Yes, I will do this. Thank you for asking for this big project. Well, we have our hydrogen, let me start like this. Hydrogen is a central element in our areas, and it's a very key topic for us. And therefore, we are very proud that we have one project already that is a kind of a flagship project already. And it's called, I mentioned it earlier, HCH2. And this project is led by the Forschungszentrum Jülich, and they will set up a Helmholtz cluster for sustainable and infrastructure compatible hydrogen economy. And the thing is, it's not only a small project, it's really a huge project for us and also for the investors, because the project is funded with around 860 million euros over a period of 17 years. And the money comes from the federal ministry, but also from the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. Because already with the sum, you can imagine how important this project is for the region. And it's a project that should really do some research, development, but also the demonstration of innovative technology around everything around hydrogen, of course, and it addresses production, logistics, and all kind of use of green hydrogen on a large scale. And this cluster should also make hydrogen experienceable to customers, to companies, to investors, but also to the university and the research institutes. So that is really, how can you say, a point of interest, you would say, in tourism, but it's a point of interest for hydrogen in our area. And this project is located in a business park called Brainergy Park. And this Brainergy Park, you see its brain from knowledge and energy from energy. And this business park is allocated for all settlements round about renewable and sustainable energies. So, and this big project is just the center. And besides this, also our office from the Zukunftsagentur Rheinisches Revier is in the direct neighborhood of this HCH2. So if somebody is interested to get in touch with the business park or with this cluster, you're welcome to contact me.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So infrastructure is not only about building pipelines, it's also about building test labs and so on. I think that's what I understood, that you are offering a lot of infrastructure for companies who need to do testing and these things there. So that's great. And so my question to Mr. Naundorf is from Infraleuna. What are the advantages of investing in green hydrogen projects in your region? So what is the big advantage for companies if they want to invest in your region? So maybe you could give some information on that.
I think the biggest advantage will be that, or biggest advantage is that the majority of the things you need to realize your project is always there. In the background, in my background, you see part of the chemical park of Leuna, and within this park and in the region, one of the largest hydrogen-related infrastructure in Germany as well as in Europe is located. So there is a production, there is the infrastructure, there is transport capacity as well as storage. So you only at least have to bring your own project with, and all the other topics could be solved by partners here in the region.
What is the biggest off-taker at your site for hydrogen? Is there, could you give some more information on that? Who is consuming hydrogen already in Infraleuna at the moment?
We are hosting about 25 customers, chemical producers, who are using hydrogen in different volumes. So by far the refinery in Leuna is the major user and the largest user of hydrogen. But a number of other chemical producers use that for their own processes.
Okay. And so then the topic today is about infrastructure. So you mentioned during your panel today that you already have, if I understood it right, 2 power lines connected with your site, and the plan is to have another third line. But you also have production on site. So that is there. Is it a gas power plant, or what kind of power plant do you already have there?
At the site, we have 4 power plants in total. Okay. 2 gas-fired plants, and a plant which is fired by residues from the refinery, and 1 is fired by municipal waste. All these power plants import their or support the site with energy and power as well. In addition to that, we have these 2 connections to the national power grid, especially to import higher volumes of renewable power into the site.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think that's also a question to Ms. Hohmann. In your area, I think there is also the need to invest in infrastructure. So you already have a lot of infrastructure there, but I understood there's also the plan to build some more, and also for in respect to have more renewable energy there. Maybe you could give some more information on that.
Yeah, exactly. So looking at our region, you can say at the moment, yeah, we have still open cast mines, honestly. Yeah, and we're doing some power generation and the refinement of lignite. But as this comes to an end, we are transforming the whole region. That means that we're also transforming the landscape. So finally, we have only a few holes left, if you like, and we will fill them with water. But besides this, we have reshaped everything. So we have new ground. We can use this for agribusiness, but we can use this also for the renewables. So we have plenty of space, not only to settle up, to build up some new business parks, but also to set up some more wind parks, if you like, so that we can invest in the renewables and also in solar fields, if you like. And so investors are welcome to invest in this renewables, if you like, but also in the transportation of the energy, if you like, and also in the infrastructure such as pipelines.
Okay, for my understanding, if there's an open cast, is it one very large open cast, or are there many, maybe 2, 3 of them? And
in the end, we have 3 left.
Okay.
And they're about, if you like, yeah, the deepest is 300-meter deep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really deep and they're huge. So I don't want to change the topic today, but in the end, when we fill them with water, the surface of the lakes are the second biggest lake in Germany. So it's bigger than the Chiemsee in the end. But that is the future in 20, 30 years. In the meantime, we are investing and concentrating on hydrogen and to set up everything for hydrogen and for the renewables. And we do need the renewables to start with the energy.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Naundorf, so today we already heard a lot about hydrogen, and we are discussing many years. So I started, I think, 15 years, but even before there was often a discussion. Now that's the time that hydrogen really start to take off. And but what is your feeling? So because now I think it's really the time. But what do you think if you compare it to 2 or 3 years ago? What changed, or why do you think investors should now invest in this topic? From your perspective, can you give some information on that? What your experience is at the moment?
Yeah, I think comparing with the last 10 to 15 years, we meanwhile have the ability and the willingness of the market to pay some premium for greener products, which include products with green hydrogen. So I did this job since nearly 15 years, and so 5 to 6 years ago, having a greener product was a selling argument, but not the price argument. Nowadays in Europe, I think there is a market for a greener product, and our customers, as well as their customers, ask for a green infrastructure, a green hydrogen, green feedstock at the end of the day. To be honest, especially the hydrogen, the green hydrogen, is for sure more expensive than a gray or black hydrogen, a fossil-based hydrogen, and the market is willing to pay a premium for a greener product. And that's the key to make this value chain, this green hydrogen-based value chain, economically feasible. And that's a driver also for huge investments, for industrial investments, for industrial application, as well as for R&D.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Hohmann, from your perspective, what do you think? What changed, or what do you think? Why should the investor now really invest in this topic?
Yeah, I do underline what Mr. Naundorf said. So it's now the market is there. And I also think that we have now the commitment from the government, so both from the federal state as well as from our local authorities here. And they're really pushing renewables nowadays. And that is also good to know, because in former times, regulations was very difficult to handle with. And now, with the commitment of the ministries and the federal state, it's getting easier. And we also want to speed up, and we really notice that, yeah, things are changing from this perspective. Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned regulation. So I think if you talk about barriers, so what do you think? What are the main barriers at the moment still, or where should we focus on to maybe to make it easier? So where do you see still barriers which could be eliminated maybe?
Well, we have to invest in the technology, because nowadays we have to import hydrogen and we have to build up more electrolyzer, and there's a whole value chain have to become more focused on into this new business case. So we have to transform the traditional companies with these new business models. We have to support them. We have to do some knowledge transfer from the university into the companies, but we have also to improve in how to get hydrogen, how to produce hydrogen, so that we can don't have to import it all the time. And therefore, we need also our own or more infrastructure for this. And I don't think it's a barrier, but it's challenging. And I think each technology has its time. And now it's a time of hydrogen and the renewables, and we have to make everything fitting together. And that is a challenge. And I think it's, we have to, that's also what the ministry is doing. They're enforcing that we are working together, so that we are partnering. And that is also what we're doing when we are looking for investors. So we are partnering to set up some new business models and make things up and running.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mr. Naundorf, so where do you see the challenges for your in your area or in general? I think challenge is more bit general for the hydrogen sector. What do you think? Where do you see them?
I think we can speed up the market development of a green hydrogen if we focus on locations where this rare, at the moment very rare molecule creates the highest value. Therefore, we think that a focus on the chemical parks, on hydrogen clusters, will be more promising to bring that technology into the market and to increase the market.
Okay, perfect. And so today we already heard a lot, and but from your perspective, Ms. Hohmann, what would you say to convince the investor to come to your region? What can they find, or maybe to give them some information? What do you think? What they can expect if they come to you?
Well, coming to our region, they will find an energy region by tradition. So we have energy branch as the energy branch itself, but we have also branches like mechanical engineering and metal industry. We have the chemical industry, and we have also agribusiness and food industry. So, but industry always means that you have skilled and well-educated workforce. And we have also an exceptionally high density of universities. So only a few regions in the world have such a concentration of well-known universities and research centers like our region. So if I can name the Aachen University, we have research institutions such as Forschungszentrum Jülich or German Aerospace Center. We have also a University of Applied Sciences, that as a university that are working very close in cooperation with small and medium-sized companies. And that is also a benefit we have in our region. We don't have only the big companies, the big player, we have also what we call the German Mittelstand. So we have small and medium-sized companies which are very good in developing and doing innovation. And because I mentioned the skilled workers, but from our universities, we welcome every year more than 25,000 graduates. So if an investor is coming to our region, setting up a company or something like this, you have not only skilled workforce, but you have young people you can recruit for your own business. That is quite good. And because of the density of university and research institutes, we have also a very lively startup scenery in our region. Thinking about startups, everybody and that is also an asset we have in our region. Yeah, and what do we have as well? Well, we have good lifestyles, we have culture, we have the enjoyment of nature, and everything is going along with demanding work and family-friendly conditions in our region. So we have the whole package, if you like, and I think that makes us quite interesting for investors.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mr. Naundorf, from your perspective, I think what I also understood today, so that there's, especially in chemical parks, so that you have companies so that they find one can take the heat from the other. So I think that's also benefit that companies, if they come to your park, we call it, I think, cross sectorial, that they can have opportunities there. Beside that, what would you say for investors? Why should they come to Infraleuna or to Lausitzer region in your region to get what they need?
I think the plug and play focus, or the plug and play philosophy will ease up the establishment of new projects in the Leuna region. So in the former session I mentioned, you only have to bring your own project with you. Everything else is still there. And you fit in, and you can bring in your project into an existing infrastructure, into an existing environment. You mentioned you will meet stakeholders who are familiar with chemical industry, who are familiar with huge projects, and also a supporting service industry. So at the moment, for instance, we have 2 billion euros under investment on the way, under construction actually in Leuna, and to keep that up and running, and to keep such a construction site on the way, you need also very competitive and very intense working supportive industry. And that's what we can provide. So you only have to bring your project, your ideas, and Infraleuna, as well as partners from the region, care for all the other stuff you need to establish a successful project.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Naundorf, thank you, Ms. Hohmann. And I think there are a lot of opportunities in all regions. And so we, as mentioned at the beginning, so we work very close with our partners, so Germany Trade Invest. And but I think it's really good if you have the chance, and that will be in a follow-up, that there will be an inbound tour. So I think it's always good if you can go there, see it in real life, talk with the partners there. And I think that would be great if you could join us in the future. So we will inform when we start this inbound tour. But in between, you're always welcome to get in contact with our partners directly, or to get in contact with us. So yeah, you're very welcome to visit us. And if there are any questions in the future, so please contact us, and we are here to answer all your questions. So thank you very much for joining our breakout session today, and hope to see you soon in Germany. Thank you.